Geno King Boxing back in the building, back with some more boxing news. And recently, Terrence Bud Crawford sat down and done an interview talking about his upcoming fight with Canelo Alvarez. And the interviewer asked him questions about Errol the Truth Spence. And Terrence Crawford had some disrespectful words to say about Errol Spence and his Hall of Fame status that I thought was completely wrong. And, you know, I'm a huge Terrence Crawford fan, but I think he should have uplifted Errol Spence in the interview instead of disrespecting his legacy and his record on making statements like he hadn't fought anybody and he's only fought at one weight division, and just kind of discrediting his own victory that he had on Terrence Crawford in June of 2023, which was Terrence Bud Crawford's most important victory, which was the victory that got him in the position now to be able to fight against Canelo Alvarez. So for him to say that Errol Spence is not a Hall of Fame fighter, I think he should have fell back from making these kind of statements. Errol Spence is definitely a Hall of Fame fighter, especially if you got guys like Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward and all these other guys that are in the Hall of Fame. But Errol Spence doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Errol Spence, at one time, you know, he was the eye collector. He was running the welterweight division, one of the most feared guys in the welterweight division. And just because he has one loss on his record, which he did lose bad, that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall. He has one loss, you know, and as great as a fighter I think Terrence Crawford is, I think Terrence should have fell back from these comments. And like I said, I think he should have uplifted Errol. This would make Terrence Crawford's claim as being one of the most pound for pound best fighters right now, it makes it more and more significant. The fact that you dominated a Hall of Fame fighter in Errol Spence. And he did that. He dominated Errol Spence. But what made the fight more, what made his victory greater was the fact that Errol Spence was a destructive human being at the time. He was known as the eye collector, knocking everybody out, stopping guys. You know, you want to make it seem like, hey, Errol Spence was the truth, and he was. But you came along and completely dominated him. And I think Bud Crawford is taking points away from his victory against Errol Spence by making statements like he's not a Hall of Fame fighter. You know, the famous Floyd Mayweather, he was great at this. He was great at making all of his fighters seem like they were huge, big stars and that they were great fighters. Even after he beat those guys, even before he beat those guys, he let the world know that Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, Sugar Shane Mosley, all of these guys were Hall of Fame fighters. They're champions. They're great fighters. That means your victory is gonna be much more than you just fighting, you know, any guy they're pulling off the street. So you want to definitely make sure you uplift your fighters, the guys you're fighting, and promote them like they're the best out there to make your victory seem bigger than what it. I'm not going to say seem bigger than what it really is. It is a big victory, but you never downplay your opponent. You never downplay your opponent like Bud Crawford did. I think he made a mistake by doing that. You know, that Errol Spence fight, the way he beat Errol Spence was very important on the reason why he got the Canelo Alvarez fight. So, you know, uplift Errol Spence. I know there's a lot of trash talk in the, you know, before the fight and, you know, the building up of the fight, but Errol Spence It's definitely the truth. I think Errol Spence right now can come back and still dominate in his division. So, that's my opinion on the situation. Always uplift your opponents. You know, win, lose, or draw. If you beat them badly, uplift your opponents. That performance against your opposition was, is what will put you in the Hall of Fame. What did you do against some of the best fighters that you fought? Like, man, you see how Terrence Crawford dominated a potential Hall of Fame fighter in Errol Spence? That's why the fight and everybody was talking about you so crazy, because you dominated another great fighter. So, yeah, this is Gino King Boxing. Y'all press that subscribe button, press that like button, and I'm out.